Welcome, everyone, to KeyWestTourist.com's Key West Uncovered, your go-to glimpse into island life. I'm Claire, your Key West concierge, and there's nothing I love more than the sound of ocean breezes and a little live music under the palm trees. I'm always on the hunt for the best spots in town, and I can't wait to share them with you. Whether you're into a good race on the water, delicious local eats, or finding that perfect sunset vantage point, Key West has something for everyone.
And I'm Brad. I'm always thrilled to make the short trip down to the island to catch the spirit of Key West. Every time I'm here, I feel like I discover something new. Like last time, I stumbled upon a hidden side street with live music pouring out of every corner. I'm still not sure how I ended up dancing until 3 a.m, but that's just how the vibe gets you.
Oh, that's the classic tale, trust me. You never know where one evening might take you, especially around Duval. There's that unspoken rule here. Once the sun goes down, all bets are off. So be prepared to find yourself sipping a tiki cocktail with a brand new group of friends you just met 5 minutes ago. It's a beautiful thing. And then, of course, we've got daytime festivities that are just as lively, if not more. For instance, we have one of the biggest events of the year coming in November, the Offshore Powerboat Racing World Championships. I've already started seeing the first announcements pop up around town, and the excitement is building. People are already snapping up hotel rooms, party passes, you name it.
I keep hearing about those boat races. They say it's like watching rocket ships on water. You can practically feel the roar of those engines in your chest, right?
Absolutely. It's a week-long celebration of speed and salt spray. By the time November 2nd rolls around, you'll see race teams parading their sleek powerboats right down Duval Street before the formal competitions start. It's no joke. The First State Bank World's Fastest Boat Parade always draws a huge crowd. On race days, there's a certain energy in the air. It's like Mardi Gras for boat buffs. Some folks stake out prime spots at Mallory Square or the Outer Mole Pier from early morning just to feel the rush up close when those engines rev. And then, after the sun goes down, the entire island becomes a floating party, with get-togethers at Hank's Saloon, the Keys Collection Racers Party, a big hurricane party. Each night offers something different.
That must be insane. I might need a whole day just to recover from the start line energy alone. And I'm guessing I'll probably need a place to stay, right? When something that popular is happening, hotels must sell out fast.
Fast is an understatement. Usually by early fall, availability on the island is already tight. That's why I point people toward the Southernmost Beach Resort if they can get a room. It's a favorite because it's perched right at the corner of Old Town and the Atlantic. You're in the thick of everything, yet it feels like a tranquil retreat with those Victorian-inspired estates, mid-century modern wings, and a pair of beaches. Morning dips in a heated pool, an afternoon spa appointment to unwind, and next thing you know, you're refreshed enough to go dancing or partying again. There's also live music scattered throughout the resort, so you can catch some tunes without even leaving the property.
That sounds like paradise. And speaking of live music, I'm curious, what's the scene like these days on the island? I remember grabbing a seat at Sloppy Joe's a while back, and I swear music was happening nonstop. Even at noon, you could find someone strumming away on a guitar.
You've got that right. You could almost set your watch by live music schedules around here. In fact, tomorrow's a perfect example. There's everything from Rolando Rojas at Sloppy Joe's in the morning to comedic acts at Comedy Key West later in the evening. On a special day like Valentine's Day, the island cranks it up another notch. Jonathan Williams playing a lunchtime show at Pier House Resort and Spa, Tim Holohan jumping on stage at Sloppy's at noon, Tony Baltimore rocking out at Schooner Wharf Bar and Grill, and so on. Schooner Wharf has this sweet setup right on the waterfront. You can sip your drink, watch the schooners come in and out of the harbor, and soak in the tunes. It's a classic Key West experience.
Schooner Wharf definitely sounds like my vibe. Outdoor stage, the smell of the sea, maybe some freshly caught fish on the grill. I'm picturing gravel under my feet, a nice breeze at my back, and a house band jamming away. I'm sold. Any other local favorites for a midday music fix?
Mac's Place is a gem off the main drag, offering something a little more low-key. It's a chance to hear local singer-songwriters. If you're feeling something breezy and you want a bit of the local crowd, that's where you go. Then there's Hog's Breath Saloon, always hopping. And if you want to just sit under a palm tree with your toes in the sand, there's Loggerhead's Beach Bar and Water Sports. Live music meets water adventures. You can listen to a set, hop on a paddleboard, then come back to your seat and rejoin the fun. It's a slice of life you don't see every day.
Now, let's pretend I've had my fill of music for a minute and I'm in the mood to explore something historical. Word on the street is the Hemingway Home and Museum is the classic stop, and apparently it's got those six-toed cats wandering around.
It's one of those places that every first-time visitor says, "I'll only stay for half an hour," and then somehow they end up staying 2 hours. You walk in, and it feels like you've stepped back into Hemingway's life. The living room was once divided by walls, but is now an open space paying tribute to his adventures. You'll see mementos of his fishing escapades, a nod to the Pilar, which was his beloved boat. And yes, those six-toed cats are there, lounging about like they own the place. They're descendants of his original cat, Snow White. If you're a lit buff, it's heaven. And even if you're not, it's still super cool to see how a creative mind lived in this tropical setting.
I need that in my life. I hear they do guided tours. That'd be a nice break from the hustle on Duval. I could stroll around, maybe pick up a fun souvenir in the museum shop, and just soak in that breezy ambiance. Then again, if I'm feeling a bit more adventurous, I might check out a group activity. Any suggestions?
You can't beat a seaplane ride out to the Dry Tortugas with Key West Seaplane Adventures. You'll hop on a de Havilland turbine otter, glide over turquoise waters, and next thing you know, you're landing right by Fort Jefferson. It's pure magic. This operator has been around for a while, holding a coveted National Park Service concession for years, meaning they're pros at getting you there safely. Most folks do the half-day trip, but honestly, if you have time, the full day is unforgettable. You can wander the fort, snorkel in crystal-clear waters, and still make it back to Key West for a happy hour. Talk about bucket list territory.
That does sound epic. I've been meaning to explore Dry Tortugas. Plus, how often do you get to land on water in a plane? You feel like a pioneer. Might need to make that the highlight of my next trip. Let's say after my day in the sun, I get back, I'm hungry, and I want to tap into the quirkiness that I keep hearing about when it comes to food around here. Where should I go for that quintessential Key West meal?
I'd head to Blue Heaven. You'll find roosters strutting around, sometimes a cat lounging on an empty chair, and there's usually a band warming up in the corner. It might look a bit random from the outside, just a courtyard with all sorts of funky decor, but once you settle in, the atmosphere clicks. They're famous for their blueberry pancakes in the morning and their Jamaican jerk chicken at night. And let's not forget the key lime pie with mile-high meringue. I've got a personal weakness for their version. There's no better place to get that breezy, eccentric Key West vibe paired with seriously good food.
Live chickens wandering around while I eat is definitely a story I can take home. I'm in. And if I'm hearing this right, the dessert is basically non-negotiable, correct?
Correct. Always dessert. It's like an unspoken rule. If you're in Key West, you have the key lime pie. Period. And if you have room for a nightcap, you can slip over to a place like Schooner Wharf or another local bar. Next thing you know, you might be clinking glasses with a sailor who just sailed in from the Bahamas, or hearing tall tales from a local who's been here for decades. That's what keeps me so enamored with this place. You never know who you'll meet.
I'd love to hear some of those tall tales, and maybe after that, I'd want a memento of my time here. I have to pick up something unique, maybe a gift for the folks back home, or even just a little treat for myself. I'm guessing there's no shortage of tourist shops, but is there one spot that stands out?
You should absolutely stop by the Key Lime Pie Bakery. Don't be fooled by the name. It's more than just pie. They've got key lime cake, key lime coconut patties, Caribbean rum cakes laced with that bright citrus twist, and even Key West key lime juice concentrate if you feel like making some tangy treats back home. I'm guilty of hoarding their key lime coconut patties. They vanish within a day in my house. And if you want to keep the party going at home, it's not a bad idea to grab a couple of those rum cakes for friends. Instant conversation starter.
I'm starting to sense a theme here. Key lime is basically the official flavor of the entire island. Between that and the constant supply of live music, it's like all the best indulgences in one place. By the way, I've been itching to catch a comedy show. Saw there's a venue called Comedy Key West with something about Hemingway in a funny way. That's a thing, right?
Totally a thing. People forget Key West can be downright hilarious, too. Comedy Key West has that intimate vibe. You can really see the comedians up close, and they'll riff off the crowd. On some nights, they even have big headliners like Dave Landau. Picture a small room, a crowd that's had a few mojitos, and a talented comic who sees the entire island as one giant comedic sandbox. It's a formula for fun, and on special occasions like Valentine's Day, you might get a double feature, earlier show plus the headliner. If you need a break from the bars or the beaches, it's a nice switch-up that still fits into the big party atmosphere around here.
I love it. A day that starts at the seaport, transitions to a midday show at Hog's Breath Saloon, maybe a quick dinner at Blue Heaven, then a comedic wrap-up at Comedy Key West. That's pretty well-rounded. But I also know there's a legendary drag performance at La Teda. Randy Roberts, I think. I've been told that's a do-not-miss experience if you like unforgettable shows.
Oh, you'll be swept off your feet. Randy Roberts is the real deal. Cher impressions, Bette Midler impersonations, a whole range of comedic and musical routines that'll leave you astounded. People rave about his shows because it's not just about the glitz and glam, it's about the heartfelt performance. He's been at it for decades. I once took a friend who wasn't sure what to expect, and by the end, she was cheering and trying to get selfies. That kind of artistry leaves a mark.
I'm sold. This place is basically my happy place. Live music, culture, drag shows, and high-energy boat races all in the same breath. I probably need another trip just to tackle everything on my list.
That's exactly how Key West works on you. It draws you in for a day or two, and before you know it, you're planning your next journey back the moment you hop on the plane to leave. My best advice: dive in, don't be shy, and let the island unravel itself around you. Whether it's the local artistry, the watery horizon bristling with sailing masts, or the magical swirl of live entertainment that spans from midday tunes to late-night drag, there's always a reason to stay just a little bit longer.
I love that. And I love that it never feels pretentious. It's welcoming. Nobody's in a hurry. No one's trying to outdo anyone else. It's just neighbors, travelers, and free spirits all hanging out together. It really is the epitome of a tropical dream. I'll definitely make it a point to visit again soon, especially for those November boat races. I want to see those powerboats fly.
Trust me, it's a thrill you won't forget. Speed on the water is a rush unlike any other, and once the motors are off, you can shift gears and wind down with a key lime pie or a stroll along the waterfront. The contrast is remarkable. Adrenaline in the day, relaxation at night. But if you're a night owl, there's plenty to keep you awake until dawn. It's all here, waiting for you, in this little corner of paradise.
All right, I'm going to stick around for a while longer. There's always another guitar strum happening somewhere, or a hidden conch fritter stand I haven't tried yet. Thanks for all the insider tips, Claire. Nothing beats hanging out with a local who knows all the best-kept secrets. I can't wait to get back out there and find my next adventure. Until next time, folks. See you in paradise.
This has been KeyWestTourist.com's Key West Uncovered. From the roar of powerboats to the sweet tang of key lime, there's no limit to what you can discover on our breezy island. If you're searching for that shot of sunshine and saltwater bliss, Key West will keep surprising you day after day. I'm Claire, here to remind you that life is always better when you're surrounded by good music, good company, and a tropical breeze. Stay curious, keep dancing, and come back whenever you're ready for more of our island paradise. Until next time.